we have the Beyonce of the pandemic. Is he the Beyonce of science? Anyway,
Beyonce of science.
We love Dr. Fauxci. Love him. Oh my God, I'm shaking. Are you nervous?
Yes.
I mean, we've been here ready for this all day. He's coming on in about, 20 seconds. And I'm worried I'm going to faint because I'm so excited.
I know. I was going to, I have a lot of things to ask him, but I don't want to, ask him, too much.
I know. But I also want it to be a tough interview. I want to call him to task. Has he signed in to Skype yet?
It looks
Or
like
Zoom?
he's there in the waiting room.
Oh, my God. My heart is fluttering. I'm freaking out, you guys. All right, let's see if he's there. Dr. Fauxci, it's Ryan and I calling you back. Ryan Katsu Rivera, Gavin McInnes on the phone.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Great. Okay, we know you have limited time. First question is, you don't seem to like Trump. He doesn't seem to like you because you flip-flop all over the place. You say wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Oh, everything's changing. Everyone's excited about Biden getting 100 million vaccines in 100 days. That was Trump's plan, 1 million a day.
Absolutely not.
What amazes me about the only good news with this pandemic is how fast the vaccine came out. Now, they say they were crapping on Trump and talking about hydroxychloroquine doesn't work and stuff. And, he went too fast. He cut corners. Do you think it's fair to say, is it a fair criticism of Trump that he cut corners with this vaccine and got it out too fast?
Okay, so that's a great question. It's the most commonly asked question. There was no cutting corners. Safety was not compromised. Scientific integrity was not compromised. And I think people need to understand that.
Yeah, I agree. The way I see COVID, and I think this is how you would see it if you were more honest with yourself.
Absolutely impossible.
It's an incredibly contagious disease. No one is disputing that. It's nuts. Everyone knows 5 to 10 people who got it. Now, we've never seen that before. Thank God it's not a deadly disease. If we had this level of contagiousness with, Ebola or the avian flu or something, we would have seen serious numbers. But we had 500,000 Americans die this year. That's pretty normal for America. I mean, I was looking at charts where they said, the year before, and it seems to be going up about 1.8% a year with the population. Okay, now why does COVID so much? Well, I think you took a lot of flu numbers and other numbers and put them in there. Someone with COVID dies in a motorcycle accident. It's a COVID death. I think George Floyd is the only person with COVID that wasn't blamed on a COVID death. So, in a perfect world, you wouldn't have done all this damage to society.
No.
And I think you need to be honest with yourself and say, I let this get political. I made this about me, about Dr. Fauxci. I totally ignored Trump's advice. I got in Trump's way. He could have saved this country. And I kind of ruined this country just to further my own career and accrue more power. Will you do that?
The chance of that happening is spectacularly low.
Yeah, that's what I figured. But that's why we don't trust you. I mean, can you keep getting away with this bullshit?
The answer is yes, and I'll explain why.
No, I don't want you to explain why. What would have happened in Trump's America is America could have been like Florida. It could have been easy on the lockdowns. Look, it's a very contagious disease, and it is damaging to olds and fats. So, olds and fats wear a mask. Olds and fats stay indoors. You got little kids with masks on. That's ridiculous. We should have had absolutely no lockdown whatsoever. Promote the vaccine, be careful around olds and fats, and you would have had none of this economic collapse. You know how many suicides you've had from the economic collapse? You know how hard it's going to be to recover? I don't think New York City can recover, ever. And I have a feeling you're going to come up with this new Delta variant, and we'll be all through this again in September. If we ever go through this again, we should just keep everything open and focus on the very vulnerable and then let the rest of us live and generate income so there's a world for the old and vulnerable.
Okay, well, that's maybe the worst idea.
No, it's not the worst idea. I don't think you think it's the worst idea. I think you know that if we had done the Florida route, or was it Sweden who did nothing? I think you know that we would have been in a much better situation, especially economically. Like, what percentage of what you say do you actually believe?
10%, 12%.
Yeah. See, now you're sounding like Biden. You sound like an unsure old man.
I don't want to compare it to anything. I don't want to insult anybody.
It's not funny, Dr. Fauci. You know what you can do? You can take all your fear-mongering, all your hyperbole, all your bullshit, political power, scaring us into giving you more of our freedom. You can take that and you can shove it up your ass.
You can take a vaccine.
I can take a vaccine, yeah. That's great. That's a less than robust response.
Less than robust response is better than no response.
Yeah, okay. Look, I don't like you. I don't like what you've done to this country. I don't like what you did to my city, New York City. I blame you for a lot of this mess and permanently altering and possibly destroying America. But this back and forth here, you despite your less than robust responses, it makes for pretty good TV, and we'd love to have you back as soon as possible.
I hope not.
Yeah, hang up on him.
He's gone.
What a smug dick. You know, we're talking about the Western world. We're talking about America, New York City. We're talking about the worst pandemic, allegedly, that we've ever had. And this guy is giggling through it all like it's a big joke, laughing the whole time.
We're gonna get in trouble for that, though, right?
In trouble for what? Speaking truth to power? I don't think so, my friend.